Okay, good morning, everyone, and welcome to our session on eco-friendly study abroad. My name is Hannah Vandersall. I'm a UCAP academic specialist, and I'm joined today by Professor Daniel Brunstetter. And we have a brief presentation for you, and a lot of information is packed into this presentation, so we'll get started, and there will be a Q&A at the end of the session that you will be able to ask questions for. I'm going to go ahead and turn my camera off during the presentation, and I'll turn it back on during the Q&A session. Thank you for joining us. In today's session, we'll provide you with information that will help you to continue or start your green lifestyle while studying abroad. We'll talk about your flight's carbon footprints and ways you can work to offset that carbon footprint while you are abroad. We'll talk about information from some of UCAP's eco-friendly study abroad destinations, and we'll also discuss programs where you can study climate change while abroad. And now I'll hand it over to Professor Brunstetter.
Hello, everyone. Bonjour. I'm coming to you from Bordeaux, France. I was the former faculty director here in France for UCAP. And on my UC Irvine campus, a shout out to all of you anteaters who might be attending today. At my UCI campus, I was the faculty director of study abroad for 6 years. And one of the things I want to talk to you about today is how, when you decide to go and study abroad, you can make it a more sustainable experience. And I think the first thing that we need to ask ourselves is, wow, well, if we're studying abroad someplace that requires a flight, that's a pretty big carbon footprint already. And on this slide, what you see is where you might be someday soon, sitting in a plane, staring out across the clouds, thinking about your study abroad adventure. But what I want you to get in your mind today, just so you're asking the sustainable question, what is the carbon footprint of a flight? Let's say a flight from LAX to Paris, which I took myself when I came to France to be the faculty director. And you compare that to a climate compatible lifestyle, and you see the difference. The flight in itself is over 2 times what a yearly climate compatible lifestyle is. Now, I bring this up not to question the value of study abroad. Study abroad is a life-changing experience, and I really encourage you to go on it. And I don't know that there are better options sometimes than flying if you want to get to Paris, because it's a long, long boat ride and boats aren't necessarily more carbon friendly. I just want us to keep in mind that every action we take, even good actions like going on study abroad that are going to benefit our lives and careers, have a carbon impact. So the question today is, next slide, please. How do we offset that, or what can we do to have a more eco-responsible, eco-friendly study abroad experience? So we here at UCAP have come up with an acronym. It's called the GLADE. And these are 5 steps to take towards a greater eco-responsibility when you're studying abroad. And the first is to get excited. G for getting excited to become change makers. The study abroad experience is going to make you into future leaders who are able to shape and change the world, maybe through your encounters with people from other cultures, or maybe through what you learn while you're studying abroad. But the important thing is to get excited and to use this experience to become change makers. The second is L for learn. Learn the vocabulary, learn what's at stake, learn the ins and outs of climate change, and also learn ways to reduce your carbon footprint. Part of learning we'll get to in a later slide is learning the vocabulary in whatever country you go to. Even if it's an English-speaking country, they might have a different way of talking about sustainability and climate change than what you're used to in California. A for action, do something, be proactive, take steps to reduce your carbon footprint. There are lots of ways to do that. We're going to talk about some of them. The 2 general terms are insetting, which is doing things to make your experience even more worthwhile, that have a positive impact on the on your carbon footprint, on the climate. And the other is offsetting, which you all probably heard of, is paying someone else to offset your carbon footprint, like planting a tree or something. D is for, not for Daniel, that's my name, but D is for diminish, and try to take steps that can diminish your environmental impact. That can be challenging while you're studying abroad. Students in the past that I've talked to about this have said that study abroad is kind of like a vacation from whatever climate consciousness they might have. It's their first time or their only time or a rare occasion when they'll be able to travel the world, and they don't necessarily think about the environment. But there are ways, even if you don't think about it all the time, to diminish your environmental impact while studying abroad. And the last is engage with stakeholders, and that's other students, that's local students, that's staff wherever you might be, faculty who might be experts, and any members of the local communities that you might come in contact with. Engage with them and learn how they live more sustainably. Next slide, please. Okay, so let's get to the nitty-gritty now. What can you do? The first is, well, you need to recognize the challenges. Not every place is going to be as green as California. Not every university is going to be as green as the #1 university in the United States for green. That's Irvine. Another shout out to all of you anteaters. So there are going to be challenges wherever you go. It's going to be hard to live maybe the sustainable lifestyle that you want to, or you're used to, or you're aspired to do. But you can ask those sustainability questions. What is your carbon footprint? That's the first place to start. And what steps can you take to reduce it? And then I'll give this last bit of advice to have fun while finding solutions. Don't make it something overwhelming, but try to use it as part of your experience in a new community, in a new culture, and to have fun while doing it. So we're going to talk about a few solutions you can pursue when you're studying abroad. Next slide, please. So here are the solutions. Trains and public transport are far less polluting than, say, Ubers or airplanes. So if it's possible, think about how you travel when you're in country or on a different continent, and privilege those transportation options that are less polluting. If you have to fly, think about flying without a stopover, because then you only take off once. Another solution, it's autumn here in France. That means it's wild mushroom season and pear season. You can eat seasonally. That is to find out what fruits and vegetables are in season, and buy things that are locally sourced. I mentioned this earlier, but finding out how locals act green, learning the vocabulary and the local language, and then also you can get involved in what's going on in the community. One great way to do that is through meeting what local students do. Here in Bordeaux, we've done campus cleanups and beach cleanups. There are food co-ops that the students run, and there are various different student clubs linked to the environment and to sustainability. And so this does two things. It actually gets you to meet locals and helps you to live a more climate conscious lifestyle while abroad. My word of advice is to be proactive, to search out these opportunities to help enrich your study abroad experience. Next slide, please.
Okay, thank you, Daniel. Those are some great options for being proactive and thinking about how you can be green while studying abroad. And I'll also go into information about maybe some green or greener study abroad options. So to start, did you know that the carbon footprint for a round trip ticket from California to Mexico City is less than half the round trip ticket from California to London? By studying abroad in Canada or Mexico, you can experience all that study abroad has to offer. Living in a different country, immersing yourself in a new culture, experiencing courses at a host institution, and sightseeing, all while staying in North America and limiting your carbon output. UCAP offers two programs in Canada, the University of British Columbia in Vancouver and McGill University in Montreal. At the University of British Columbia, you'll be able to discover the refreshing city of Vancouver through endless opportunities for water and land sports, or bring your research to life on a waterfall hike, a walk through a world-famous garden, or by snorkeling near local islands. At the University of British Columbia, you can choose from a wide array of academic disciplines as most subjects are available. Enrolling directly in the large university, you can really immerse yourself in the academic culture as you take courses alongside local and international students. You also have the opportunity to take upper division marine science courses at a unique research and teaching facility on the west coast of the Vancouver Island during the fall. At McGill University, you'll experience Canada's best city for students, Montreal, where you get a European experience without leaving North America. Be a part of the international vibe at McGill University, Canada's top institution and host to students from more than 150 countries. Take courses in English while you practice French with local students, or challenge yourself to language courses. Like the University of British Columbia, you can choose courses from a wide array of academic disciplines as most subjects are available. UCAP offers 5 programs in Mexico. The Contemporary Mexico program in Mexico City is a 5-week summer program that mixes class time with activities and trips. On this program, you'll get an intercultural perspective of Mexican history and culture while learning Spanish. Study abroad for the fall semester on the Field Research in Mexico program, where you will take courses in field research methods, Mexican culture, and Spanish language. The first 6 weeks of the program take place in Mexico City. Jumping ahead here, takes place in Mexico City, where you'll write and revise the proposal for your project, learn advanced techniques of field research, and become familiar with local libraries, archives, and other research centers. For the last 6 weeks of the program, you'll head to a field research site in the Yucatan, Oaxaca, Puebla, Chiapas, Querétaro, or Mexico City to conduct your research. Spend a summer in Puerto Escondido on the Global Health in Mexico program, where you'll complete coursework and participate in a service placement in a clinic, women's justice center, educational center for low-income children, or a training center for environmental sustainability. The year-long program in leadership and social justice and public policy takes place in both Mexico City and Sacramento. You'll combine coursework with on-the-ground experience, where you'll learn how the politics and culture of Mexico inform California public policy making. And lastly, study abroad at the National Autonomous University of Mexico in Mexico City for the fall, spring, or year. The university is one of the world's largest public universities, where you can make progress towards your major in a wide variety of fields in a world-class academic environment. You will enroll in regular classes with Mexican students and be fully immersed in your academic subject and the intellectual culture of the country. You can also choose to study in a destination known for their green climate policies. Today, we will highlight only 2 of the countries we offer programs in, though there are many more countries we offer study abroad programs in that have great green policies. You can always research the country or city you are interested in studying abroad in to learn what kind of green policies they have. You can also see if they have public transportation options available for you to utilize while abroad. Study in the Netherlands to commute like the locals do, on your bike. There are more bikes than there are people in the Netherlands, as there are estimated to be over 22 million bikes in the Netherlands, a country which boasts 17 million people. UCAP offers programs in 3 different cities in the Netherlands: Maastricht, Utrecht, and Wageningen. Our programs in Maastricht include biological and life sciences, psychology and neuroscience, Maastricht Summer, business and economics, and University College Maastricht. Courses in Maastricht use the problem-based learning methodology, where you will work in small groups on problems and set your own learning objectives based on your background, education, and work experience. Our programs in Utrecht are University College Utrecht and Utrecht University. Located just 30 minutes away from Amsterdam by train, Utrecht is an attractive stop in the Netherlands. Students comprise nearly 20% of Utrecht's population, giving the city a true university town vibe. It's also the most sustainable city in the country, with its solar-powered vehicles and strong biking culture. Wageningen University is a leading institution in agricultural sciences and food studies. The focus of the university is healthy food and living environment, and their curriculum stems from these ideals. You will see yourself in Wageningen if you are interested in studying at a university that focuses exclusively on the earth and environment and surrounding yourself with students who have similar academic interests. Wageningen is a historic town in central Netherlands, about an hour from Amsterdam. In the last decade, Dutch students have consistently voted Wageningen University the #1 university in the Netherlands. The city of Wageningen mirrors the university's focus with an emphasis on sustainable living. A cycling culture dominates the streets, buses run on green gas, and stores specialize in sustainable wine, health, and beauty products. Study in France, home of the Paris Climate Agreement, which was adopted by 196 countries in 2015. French lawmakers recently moved to ban short domestic flights within France, where train options for traveling are available. This move will help to reduce the nation's carbon footprint that is generated by domestic flights. UCEAP offers a variety of programs in Paris, Bordeaux, and Lyon. And as we mentioned earlier, the UCAP Study Center in Bordeaux created the GLADE action plan and first put it into use. UCAP students at Bordeaux were provided with reusable bags and reusable coffee tumblers in order to limit the amount of single-use items they would use while abroad. The study center organized green events such as beach and campus cleanups, closed donating events, and more. The staff at the UCAP Bordeaux Study Center have shown their commitment to going green by using public transportation or biking to work when possible, turning off computers, printers, and lights at the end of the day in the office, recycling paper, using water fountains rather than buying single-use plastic water bottles, buying organic products in bulk, sharing documentation online to avoid printing on paper, using an eco-friendly internet browser, and more. The Bordeaux campuses are also leading by example by renewing their biking lanes, upgrading buildings to be more energy efficient, installing a water fountain fed with a natural source of water on campus, and they also created a place where students can donate items on the campus and they'll sell them again on to the next generation of students so they're able to be used again. If you're interested in studying climate change as a part of your study abroad program, we are able to highlight programs from 9 countries that may be of interest to you. At the University of the West Indies program in Barbados, you can conduct research in living laboratories to investigate marine resource management and preservation and tropical horticulture. On the Socio-Ecological Sustainability in Southern Chile program, you can participate in an environmental planning project with a team of classmates and attend a 5-day cabin retreat to learn skills and approaches to field research. On the Tropical Biology and Conservation program in Costa Rica, you can measure the effects of sustainable forestry and conservation methods on food production. Iceland is home to the world's best innovations in hydroelectricity and geothermal power. At the University of Iceland, you can organize and run workshops on topics related to sustainability. The University of Waikato in New Zealand ranks among the top in the nation for ecology, biology, and environmental studies. On this program, you can learn from researchers and professors who are actively raising international awareness on climate change. The Pacific Island Environment and Community Public Health Program in the Solomon Islands in Australia allows you to conduct coastal water quality tests at the Moreton Bay Research Station on Australia's North Stradbroke Island and assess marine pollution levels. At Uppsala University in Sweden, you can complete the Climate Change Leadership Node, where a series of internationally recognized visiting professors work with students on public partners to actively mitigate and adapt to climate change. Environmental studies majors at the University of East Anglia in England will enjoy the courses in global climate change. While studying at the university, you can take field trips to environmental centers, fisheries, and aquariums to study the effects of pollution. Study abroad students at the University of St. Andrews in Scotland can participate in themed courses on sustainability. Sustainability is a key interdisciplinary research interest at St. Andrews and highlights the wealth of expertise offered in this area available for undergraduate study. For more information about studying climate change at these institutions, please see UCEAP's Californian Abroad blog post on how to help stop global climate change. I'm going to put a link to that blog in the chat now. So go ahead and access that link if you'd like to read more about these options and more about studying climate change while abroad. We hope this presentation has provided you with a starting point on your study abroad journey and encourage you to explore the UCEAP website for detailed information about program options, finances, health and safety, and more. You should visit your Campus Study Abroad Office website or the How to Apply section on any program page on the UCEAP website for information on application steps and deadlines. Contact information for campus offices is also available through the QR code on this slide. We offer office hours where you can schedule an appointment to have a video call with a UCEAP advisor to talk about our programs in more detail. You will find the link to make an office hours appointment through the QR code as well. Once you have determined which program you're going to apply to, you can start an application by selecting the Apply Now button on the UCEAP website. Please feel free to contact us if you have any questions. Our general email is on this slide. And thank you for attending this session. We will now move on to the Q&A, so please go ahead and send us your questions in the chat box.